Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, here to kick off week 12 of the college football season and my picks and predictions. Got three games for you in this video, all SEC. It's going to be an all SEC weekend. These might be the only three games I do this weekend. I had some other Big Ten showdowns that I was thinking about doing. If I do them, I'll do them tomorrow morning. Just waiting to see if there's some line movement in those ones. But before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, I track my ATS standings in the top left. So as you can see, I'm 22 and 17 on the season. It's not bad. Think I can do better. Let's see if we can push forward to that. I went 4 and 2 last week. Obviously, big whiff taking Georgia. And if you watch the ending, I had Oklahoma with the late the three, and I had it. If you watch the ending of that Oklahoma Missouri game, Jackson Arnold, quarterback for the Sooners, my man, they want you in the transfer portal out there, buddy, with the way that game ended. So, anyways, we're gonna start it off with Texas as a 12-point favorite against Arkansas. As people might not know, this is a hotly contested rivalry. Arkansas fans, more so on the Arkansas side, Arkansas fan base really can't stand Texas. So this might be a hostile environment that the Longhorns are traveling into. Texas is still competing to make it to the SEC title game. They're currently in the college football playoff. I think they're projected as the 4th seed right now in the college football playoff, as they're projected to win the SEC. And Arkansas is a team that's kind of fighting for a bowl bid. Sam Pittman, coach for Arkansas, is probably on the hot seat. He might get canned, the thought was he was going to get canned last year. So when you're looking at this game, Texas in their last three games, they lost that tough one to Georgia 30-15. Letdown game against Vandy, they only beat them by three, though there was a look good touchdown there at the end of the game. And then they seem to get right against Florida, 49-17. Yes, Florida had a lot of backups in the game, walk-on quarterback. It was an unlosable game. But more importantly to that, Texas' offense finally looked like it started to click. The Gators got some injuries on defense as well, but still the Texas offense was looking like it was starting to click, starting to get that running and passing game back to where they were earlier this season. On Arkansas' side, they lost a home game to LSU that surprised everybody that they lost so badly, 34-10. Then they rebound, beat up on Mississippi State, and got absolutely annihilated by Ole Miss. Gave up 60 points. And that's going to be the story in this game to me. Is this Arkansas defense is just not very good. 124th in the country in pass defense. You just got hit up by Jackson Dart. Quinn Ewers can do the same thing to you. So I don't see any difference there. Arkansas's defense is just not very good. They can't really stop the run very effectively either. And Texas does have that balance with Jaden Blue and those running backs. So I expect this Texas offense to move the ball at will in this game. Now, offensively for Arkansas, you do have Taylor Green. Taylor Green should be back. He did look like a sprained knee. They're calling it against Ole Miss early in the game, but he came back in the game and finished the game, and he played well. Expect him to play in this game, though he might not be 100%. Still, they're 11th in the country off in passing offense, and they get Jaquinta Jackson, their starting running back. They get him back for this game. He had missed a few games because of injury, so Arkansas might have something there offensively with potential for balance. The only issue is they're going against one of the best defenses in the country. This is the number one defense in the country against the pass, and they're legit. That's going to be a tall task for Arkansas's passing offense. And then they're not too shabby against the run either. I believe they're ranked in the top 30 against the run. So this is another game where I think it's going to be similar to that Ole Miss game. Texas is probably going to be able to name their score, and Arkansas might be able to move the ball at times in the game, but certainly not for 4 quarters to keep pace with a Texas offense that's going to put up some points. So give me the Longhorns. I'm going to lay the 12 in this one. Moving on, we have LSU as a 4-point favorite going on the road to Florida. This is, by the way, I wanted to mention this. I got two disclaimer games. This is one of my disclaimer games. It's all about DJ Lagway, the quarterback for the Gators. If he plays, I'm definitely betting this. But if he's not playing, and since I'm doing the game today, and I'm not going to wait till tomorrow, game time decision, because you know how college coaches do with injuries. If he's not playing, I'm not betting this. So, because the spread is a 4-point favorite, I assumed that DJ Lagway was going to play this game because if Aiden Warner, the walk-on third-string quarterback for Florida, were to play this game, the spread would be much higher. If you look at LSU, cooked Arkansas, but then they got beat up in the second half by Texas A&M and their mobile quarterback, and they got absolutely pummeled at home to Alabama. And that game against Alabama exposed a few things. A, There's no real running game for LSU. Caden Durham, they're trying to force feed you as a running back that they're gonna count on consistently week in and week out. But the reality is the undersized freshman has wheels. He can hit a big play, but he's not consistent. There's no consistent running game here at LSU. It's all about Garrett Nussmeier in the passing game. And if you can affect the passing game, this LSU offense isn't going to move the ball very well. Easier said than done, though, because Garrett Nussmeier has been cooking this season, and he's got a stable of receivers to throw to, particularly Kyron Lacey, who I think is an NFL wide receiver. On Florida's side, they crushed Kentucky 48-20. That was with DJ Lagway starting at quarterback. Georgia game, they're in the game and Lagway goes down early, and they competed for 4 quarters in that game. That game was much closer than that final score indicates. And then against Texas, that's an unwinnable game for them with the walk-on quarterback and all the injuries they have. It just wasn't going to go well. Florida still has injury issues in their back end and their secondary, so LSU's receiving core is going to go against some backup DBs for Florida. But on the offensive side, with Lagway back, they're supposed to get wide receiver Elijah Badger back, who's their top wide receiver. He's supposed to be back for this game. So we got Lagway, Badger, and DK at wide receiver. You've got some weapons for Florida's offense, which is one of the reasons why they rank 8 point, or not rank, but they average 8.67 yards per attempt. That's pretty high. Uh, One of the highest yards per attempts in the country. Lagway consistently looks for players downfield, and LSU does give it up in the secondary. They're an average secondary this season. I believe they're 64th in the country. Rush defense 74th in the country. Montreal Johnson, the running back for Florida, might be back for this game, and even if he's not, freshman sensation running back Jaden Ball has proven that he can carry the load. So this is a game for me where I see LSU's Garrett Nussmeier receivers going against Florida backup DBs. LSU is going to move the ball, but I see Florida against mediocre at best LSU defense with DJ Lagway and Elijah Badger back, maybe Montreal Johnson back. They're going to move the ball, so I think there's going to be some points scored in this game. This is a game that I think Florida has a shot as long as their Lagway's playing. That has a shot to win this game. I'm not going to pick them outright. I'm not going to money line this game, but I would take Florida with the +4. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I think it's going to be a close game. And finally, third and final SEC game we're going to do this weekend is going to be Tennessee at Georgia. Georgia is a 9.5 point favorite in this game. This actually opened at 11. It's been reported that Trevor Etienne, starting running back for Georgia, has been ruled out for this game. I don't know if that's the reason why it dropped to 9.5, but just put 9.5, but just putting that out there. When you look at this game, well, first off, when you look at this spread, 9.5 seems really high to me. This is in my other disclaimer game. Nico, the quarterback for Tennessee, reported that he got a concussion in the last game. I don't know if that's ever been officially reported, but that's what the rumor is. He has been ruled questionable for this game. We don't know if he's playing. Yet again, I can't wait till game time to see if he suits up or not. So I'm going into this pick assuming that he's playing. But disclaimer, if he's not playing, I'm not doing this game. All right. I'll do one game for the weekend. That's fine by me. But I'm assuming that he's going to play. He's reported that he has been practicing. And I remember last year, Jaden Daniels looked like he got a concussion against, I think it was Alabama. And he played the next week against Florida. So this is not unheard of. But anyways, when we're looking at this game, Tennessee's last 3, they beat Bama. They kind of coasted to a win against Kentucky that was much tougher than I thought it would be. And then the Mississippi State game, Nico didn't play the second half as they won by 19. Georgia, huge win against Texas. And then Florida, that was a 4-quarter fight, and then gets dominated by Ole Miss in the Grove. And that game has kind of highlighted Georgia's season to me. This is Georgia this year. You have Carson Beck, quarterback who came in with a lot of hype, who's been a turnover machine. To me, he's seeing ghosts right now. He's seeing ghosts. Running game isn't that strong. Georgia's rushing offense ranks 104th in the country this season. Now Trevor Etienne is out for this game, so now Branson Robinson and Roger Robinson. Those running backs have been out, so now it's just Nate Frazier, the true freshman back, Nate Frazier, who people have been trying to force into your face as a superstar. This isn't Adrian Peterson, freshman running back. I'm not saying Nate Frazier won't eventually be a star, but he's not that right now. So Nate Frazier against the number 9 rush defense in the league or in the country, no way. That running game isn't going to really get off in this game. So now it's going to really be Carson Beck who's seeing ghosts with a receiving core that looks like they really miss Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers at tight end because these guys aren't really threatening defenses. Tennessee has a pretty strong pass defense as well. So Georgia's offense for me isn't going to really be getting going in this game. Then the opposite side, you have Tennessee. Nico, assuming he's playing, hasn't really been that effective passing the ball this year. He's another guy we're trying to force as a star. I think he's going to start. He has star tools, but he's not a star this season. Maybe that's a 2025 thing. And he doesn't really have weapons on the outside that really scare you. So this is a game that I think Georgia's pass defense, their DBs, they match up with these Tennessee receivers. So I don't think Tennessee's passing game is going to get going. So in the end, what's going to get going? No Georgia running game, no Georgia passing game, no Tennessee passing game. The thing, most consistent aspect of this game for both teams is Dylan Sampson and the Tennessee running game. Dylan Sampson is legit at running back. Maybe the best running back in the SEC, a future NFL draft pick. Georgia's rush defense ranks 21st, but they're not going to contain Dylan Sampson the whole game. So you're going to see some effective runs, I think, by Dylan Sampson in this one. So for me, the deciding factor in this game is going to be can Georgia shut down Dylan Sampson or how well they can shut down Dylan Sampson and which of these quarterbacks who have been inconsistent this year can get untracked in this game. So for me, 9.5 is way too many points when you consider all of that. Georgia has the motivation factor for sure. They need this game to get back into the college football playoff. But 9.5, that's a lot. Give me the Vols with 9.5. I know it's in Athens, but I'm not worried about it. So anyway, that wraps it up. Remember those two disclaimers. We got to make sure Nico and Lagway are playing. But if you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe, all of that. As you can see, my YouTube handle here in a few seconds. Take care.